Hey everybody, what's up and welcome to another Sims 4 house building video. In today's video, I am bringing you the house from one of my favorite TV shows of all time, How to Get Away with Murder. This is the Keating House. It's owned by Annalise Keating, who's like the main protagonist in quotation marks. She's kind of a anti-hero protagonist villain. She kind of does it all, but this is her house. If you're unfamiliar with the show, she is a very successful lawyer and a teacher, and basically this is, in the first couple of seasons of the show, this is her home where the vast majority of the story takes place, and she basically uses this as her place of work. So you'll quickly see in this house that I have a lot of office spaces kind of set up around the house. In the main living room, there's kind of an office space. Towards the back of the house, there's another office space. There's just a lot of workspaces in this house because she kind of uses this as not only her place of work, but she also brings students there. She brings a lot of clients there, all that kind of stuff. And I really wanted to reflect that in this build. So in doing that, not only do I have like a couple of different desks and computers and things like that, but there's also a crap ton of clutter. I put a lot of like paperwork and books and things like that around the place just to really give that work environment kind of look to the build. Now this build was hard. It was a tough one to build. I struggled a lot with the exterior of this house. The windows, you might see, I have kind of made quote-unquote custom windows, basically using objects from the debug menu. I was able to take canvases, blank canvases that your Sims use for painting, and I basically created kind of custom window surrounds. So this building is completely 100% CC free, but I did kind of make custom Maxis friendly windows because the windows in this house are kind of crucial to getting the right look of the build. If you're familiar with the house, it's a very big, kind of Victorian-esque house. It's blue and it has these very distinct windows with these large white frames on them. And there was no windows in the game that kind of emulated them the way I wanted. So I actually just took existing windows and I just created new surrounds on them. And I kind of did it in 3 different sizes. So I could just reuse them around the house and pairing these surrounds with multiple different window types and everything just to get the different look that I wanted around the house. And it was a lot of fun. I used this trick quite a bit. I actually just used it in my last build, the Bridgerton house. I used it kind of on the front framing of the windows in that house. And I used it way back when I built the house from Call Me By Your Name. I basically create like individual little rooms with a wall, and I place the windows and I create the surrounds on them, and then I copy and paste that little room around the house wherever I need the windows placed, and then just remove the flooring on it. And it basically just saves me having to individually place 20 different windows with custom surrounds on all of them. I basically just have to create the window once and then reuse it around the build. And it's a really neat little trick. I might actually make like a YouTube short showing how I do that. Because a lot of people do this, but I can't remember where I learned how to do it, but it's definitely something that I think people would be able to use themselves if they knew how to do it. So I might do that. I might create a video just explaining a bit better how I do that, because it's a really, really neat trick when you're creating something based on real life or a movie or TV show or whatever, like I often do. I kind of like to get a bit creative with how I'm going to execute different things to get it as close as I possibly can to the TV show or whatever I'm basing it on. Another key feature of this house is on the 3rd floor, kind of on the roof at the front of the house, kind of at the gable end of the house, there is kind of a trellis effect, and I tried so hard to emulate it in The Sims, but I just couldn't get it in a way that I was happy with. So I ended up kind of just scrapping that idea, and I can't remember if I actually put anything there. You'll see later in the video, or maybe right now. I can't remember. I am currently recording this voiceover without actually looking at my footage. It's just sometimes the way I have to do it, just because my computer is a bit older. It makes a lot of noise while it's running, so I'm not actually watching my footage back while I'm recording this voiceover. So I don't know what part of the video you're at, or if I've even included that footage. I can't remember, but I just decided not to like do anything with that trellis effect on the gable end of the house, rather than doing something that I knew I wasn't happy with, or just including something because, it's in the show or whatever. I decided it would just look better if I didn't include anything. But honestly, other than that little feature of the trellis effect that I couldn't include, the rest of this house came together pretty easily, which I was really shocked by, because I remember trying to build this house years ago, just in my own time. It could have been 5 years ago, and maybe I just didn't have the right items or whatever in the game, and I definitely got stuck on the windows, but I worked around that this time. But I remember really struggling with the floor plan of this house, the style of some of the objects that I needed, and the house just kind of goes through different iterations throughout the show, so I didn't know which version of it I wanted to focus on, but this time it just seemed to come together quite easily. I was actually really happy with it. Now, there's some aspects that obviously don't match up perfectly. I know that the office towards the back of the house is much bigger than it should be. There's a lot of empty space there that I kind of just had to fill with whatever I could. And I know that the kitchen is definitely smaller than it is in the show, and I couldn't get the colors perfect in the kitchen because I just couldn't emulate it with the objects that we have in The Sims. Also, I'm very colorblind, so sometimes when I'm working on things, I'm looking at a picture, a reference photo, and I'm looking at the objects in The Sims, and I'm like, these do not go together. But they might, I just can't see it. I'm not fully colorblind, but I'm red-green colorblind, so certain colors just look funny to me or they don't register properly. You might have actually even noticed in some of my builds that I use the color filter option that's in The Sims 4 a lot, particularly when I'm trying to filter things like grays and whites. For some reason in The Sims, they often register in my brain as different shades of pink, which is really weird, and I find it very hard to distinguish them. So I use that filter a lot, and it's really, really helpful. But I noticed it when I was doing the kitchen in this house and the main back office, which is Annalise's office. And I just found it very hard to get the exact colors that I wanted. And then when I found colors that I wanted, I was like, I don't even know if these are the right ones. Bit of a struggle, but overall, I was pretty happy with this one. Upstairs in this house, I did take a bit of creative liberty. I tried to get Annalise's bedroom as close as I possibly could, because as far as I can remember, it's been a while since I watched the show, but as far as I can remember, that's the only bedroom that we actually see in the show in this particular house. So I tried to make her bedroom as close as I possibly could. There's some distinct features that actually play pivotal plot points in the show, like the wallpaper, which sounds really weird, but in the context of the show it makes sense. So I tried to emulate the wallpaper as best I could and like include some of the key features in the house, but overall it came together pretty easily. I was really happy with this build. Once I had the main living room area downstairs done, I was pretty happy. I was like, this is going great. I'm loving life. And then when I got upstairs and realized, oh shit, I only know what one bedroom looks like. That's not great, but I kind of just made up the other two. I ended up including kind of a children's bedroom, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, because I know that I went back and changed a couple of things after I'd finished, so I'm not sure if I'm misremembering now, but I kind of just wanted to hint at some of the storylines. I don't want to spoil the show for you because it's kind of a big spoiler. Yeah, I just wanted to reflect some different plot points in different areas of the house, and if you're familiar with the show, then you'll know what I'm talking about. If you're not familiar with the show, this sounds extremely vague, and I'm trying to keep it vague because I don't want to spoil things for you guys. But it's a great show. If you haven't watched it, you definitely should. I believe it's on Netflix in the UK at the moment. I have absolutely no idea about the rest of the world, but if you're in the UK or Ireland, I believe it's still on Netflix. It's a great show. I would really recommend. It's made by Shonda Rhimes, who is the creator of shows like Scandal and Bridgerton, weirdly enough. She has a very interesting career, but she's actually the mastermind behind Bridgerton. Obviously, she didn't write the books that the show is based on, but it was her mind that brought it to the screen and made a lot of the changes in the show that aren't in the books, like introducing new characters and bringing the different ethnicities into characters, and all those great aspects of the show all came from Shonda Rhimes. So she is an amazing writer, producer, director, all of the above. Actually, I'm not sure if she's a director. I know she's a writer and producer, but I don't know if she's ever directed her projects. But she's great. I would recommend all of her shows. And actually, just on Bridgerton, my last build I just uploaded the other day. It's the Bridgerton house. If you haven't watched it, I will leave a card here and you guys can go back and watch it. It is a great build. I was really, really happy with it, but you guys have been really great. You've responded so nicely to that house. It's only been up on my channel for a couple of days and it already has a few thousand views, which for a small channel like mine is huge. It is crazy. It's very, very encouraging. So I just really, really want to say thank you so much, you guys, for supporting that video and supporting the channel. And it's crazy. It's a really, really nice feeling to work hard on something like that. Like that build in particular, I spent so long on. I remember when I was editing it, I had 8.5 hours of footage to go through. And I built a lot of that house off camera. There's a lot of aspects of that house that I did not include. I didn't even record it. So it's very reassuring to go through all of that and then editing and doing the voiceover and all of that and then posting it and getting a very nice response. It's very encouraging. So I really, really, from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys. And I'm really glad you enjoyed the video. I've been getting a lot of comments on it of just very complimentary things from you guys. And it's very, very encouraging. I absolutely love it. And it's just very encouraging to continue putting content out. It's always a weird thing with me because sometimes I feel like I'm putting videos out into the void and things that I've worked very, very hard on don't always get picked up by the algorithm, or they don't always get a crazy amount of views or whatever. I have some videos on my channel that have done way better than I ever thought they would. And then some things that I was like, oh, I think people will like this, haven't gone over great. But the last house was one of those ones that I was like, I've got a good feeling about this. And so far, you guys are responding really nicely to it. So it's just very encouraging. Don't mean to get all sappy. I don't like doing that. But it just means a lot to me. So thank you guys. And if you're watching this video, thank you. I don't know. I'm kind of talking in circles now, but it's just a very nice feeling. So thank you. I'm done saying thank you, but thank you. So if you're still watching this video, I just want to say that this build, like all of my builds, is available on the gallery. My gallery ID will be in the description and in a pinned comment at the top of the comment section, which I'm just remembering I didn't do in the Bridgerton video. I'm going to do that right now. Right when I finish this, I'm going to post it on the gallery and leave a pinned comment. Completely forgot to do that, so thank God I'm recording this now. But if you do like this build, make sure you download it. Make whatever you want out of it. Bulldoze it. Well, that would kind of defeat the purpose of downloading it, but download it, renovate it, make changes, whatever you want to do. And if you do that, let me know what you do with it, because I'm always curious if people download my build, what they're going to do with them. And I actually checked my gallery the other day and I was kind of shocked at how many people actually download my builds. It was kind of crazy, but very weirdly encouraging again. So if you do download this, let me know what you end up doing with it. If you play with it as is, or if you change it or whatever, let me know. I'd be very curious. And also, something I'm doing recently that I'm really, really enjoying is asking you guys where in the world you're watching my videos from. It's so interesting to me to find out where you guys are watching from, because for me, I'm just sitting in my room yelling at my phone and playing The Sims, and I put videos out and then someone's like, oh, I'm watching from the United States or from Wales or from different place around Europe or Asia or Australia or wherever. It's crazy to me to think that these videos reach all around the world. And I know that's just the nature of the internet. There's no bounds to it, but it's just fascinating and it's so cool. So please let me know where you're watching from and what you thought of the video. If you liked it, if you didn't, if you have any critiques, if you have any ways I can improve, because I'm always looking to improve my content. So if you have any feedback, let me know. And if you have any suggestions for future builds, please leave any recommendations you have in the comment section. And I will hopefully get around to building some of those houses. I definitely take suggestions on board, and I'm always looking for new things to build, and you guys come up with some great ideas that I would never think of. So please let me know if you have any ideas. And I might wrap up the voiceover there. And if I have any more time in the video, I will play it out with some music and some screenshots and things like that. And I will see you guys in the next one. So thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it. And I hope you have a wonderful day wherever you're watching this from. And I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.